it is hot, pretty hot. Meanwhile, back home, it's snowing. My wife just sent me some pictures and they look lovely. Looks like a photography wonderland. So yeah, I don't blame you if you are wondering what the heck I'm doing here. This was always a bit of a gamble, still is, I guess, but I saw the weather forecast and I took a chance. And it might, just might, pay off. Because as sunny and hot as it is today, this is about to change. It's going to rain here in that valley, and quite a bit. And there's nothing I love more for photography than unique and rare conditions in beautiful places. That's why I'm here, but first I need to survive today's heat. I've been driving around with the AC on, but with many roads in the park closed, I don't even know where to go. I've been driving in circles. Oh. Whoa, I'm hanging by a thread here. You might think that I'm being a bit dramatic, and I may be, but the car says 91 degrees and that is just way too hot for me. So I've been hanging out at the visitor center because it's the only place with some shade where I can park. I got a campsite, but it doesn't have any shade. Anyway, I think the worst of the day is over. It's 2 p.m. so it should get cooler from here. But still, I don't want to go through that again. It gets really, really hot inside the car. The park is a little bit of a mess, I guess because of the government shutdown, but the trash hasn't been picked up in a while. The thermometer is broken and the road to Badwater is closed. It has been for a couple months now. So yeah, this is the situation I put myself into. It got pretty windy, which is not ideal for the place I'm about to photograph. Absolutely no switching lenses in these conditions. So I have to choose between the wide angle lens or the telephoto lens. It's a tough choice. So the wide angle it is, that way I can also record videos. I hope I don't miss the telephoto though. You know, many photographers only use black and white as a last resort when the colors don't work. But we full-time monochrome photographers know that sunrise and sunset are also the best times for black and white photography, because it's only when the sun is lower in the horizon that the landscape is filled with shadows and different shapes. There are two things I like to photograph here on a sunny and clear day during sunrise and sunset. One of them is the distant hills, the distant canyons, the distant mountains. When they are backlit, they look absolutely beautiful. And the other location that benefits from those shadows is this one, the sand dunes. Even though it's not even that sunny now, but it's just one small cloud. It'll go away soon, I hope. Sadly, I think we are losing the light. There are some thick clouds in the horizon, and as you can see, the landscape has transformed. There are no shadows, so there are no shapes. That's a fighter jet somewhere. Maybe two. Well, maybe three. Anyway, as I was saying, without that light, without the shadows that the ripples in the dunes create, well, this is not the same, because now everything looks the same, it's the same tonality in black and white, it just doesn't work. The light there in the background is getting pretty dramatic though. Alright, I might have gotten something, I might not. But let's not despair just yet, because this is not why I came to Death Valley. I didn't come here for this. I came here for what's to happen in a couple days. And talking about that, by the way, I just got a notification. I got a flat watch for Death Valley, which is something that you don't see every day, I don't think. I'm hoping for some moody conditions, but this might start to be a little bit concerning because they have more than 1 inch, which is half of the rain that falls here in one whole year. So yeah, hopefully it's good for photography, but not too much that it creates other problems. It was a pretty hot and long night, but it's so much better today. The sky is pretty dark, and actually it is raining a little bit up here. We are at above 5,000 feet right now, in a part of Death Valley I've never been to. This is probably the farthest and most remote part of the park you can get to on a paved road. It's a beautiful drive through the mountains, a little bit long, it's like 30 miles, but of course, before reaching the destination we have to hit the mandatory 2-mile unpaved road, because again, it wouldn't feel as much as an adventure if we didn't drive on dirt roads. Those are cool. All right, so this is what an hour and a half drive gives you in Death Valley. These are the charcoal kilns of Wild Rose. They look kind of ancient, but they are not that old. I mean, they were built in 1877, so I guess 150 years ago, so relatively old. And they were used to make charcoal for a mine that was 20 miles away or something like that. I came all the way here because I was thinking about visiting another charcoal kilns in Nevada, but that was a much longer drive and it would be just for that. So because these were here already, well, I decided to just check them out. They look pretty cool, even though photographing them in black and white is gonna be a challenge, at least from the outside, because my biggest hope for this place was inside. I'm gonna need to go wide in here, as wide as possible. What about 10 millimeters? Well, I visited all of them, the 10 of them, because you gotta catch them all. They are all the same because they are very well preserved actually, so none of them is a little bit more in ruins than others. The only difference I could find is that some of them had rocks inside, some of them did not. I played with that in my compositions, but I can't see any photographs from the outside because they blend really well with the landscape, so there is no contrast. And again, that's something that I'm always looking for. I tried with fast apertures, I tried play with the foreground, all the bushes in the foreground to create some depth and stuff, but not really, I don't think so. Maybe from this angle. Nah, not even from the other side. But this place is kind of cool. It doesn't feel like Death Valley, all the trees and bushes. I mean, it's still a dry landscape, but it is much greener than the valley that is just a few miles away. Another way it doesn't feel like Death Valley is that there is no one here. So peaceful compared to the crowds down in the valley, even though this time there are not as many people as other times. Maybe because of the weather that's coming. And so begins the long drive back down. It wasn't the most productive trip, but I'm trying to remove from my vocabulary the word worth it. I don't think that's the right way to look at things, because Yes, I did drive all the way there just because of those kilns, and I couldn't make good photos of them, but you just never know what you're gonna find on the way. This landscape is beautiful here. It's a part of Death Valley I had never seen before, so you just never know what you're gonna find. Sadly, I haven't found much, but again, you just gotta try it. This is a view you probably don't get every day here in Death Valley with all those clouds in the mountains. I don't know if you'll be able to see them, but that valley down there is full of Joshua trees. So cool. Okay, just got gas. It is 5.15 here, which is expensive but not crazy. That for my European friends is like €1.20-ish a liter. I've been paying, I want to say, an average of $3.50 per gallon, which is the equivalent of around 75 cents of a euro a liter, and that's why, or that's one of the reasons why Americans drive so much. It is really cheap here. All right, I guess I'll do it here. Oh my goodness, this car is filthy. Look at that. I'm gonna make some lunch here on the side of the road, because even though I have a campsite at the campground, I had to check out this morning because I got my 4 nights in 3 different reservations. It's peak season here in Death Valley and I couldn't find the same campsite for the 4 nights that I wanted. So yeah, I need to go back to the campground later and do the check-in again. On the menu for today we have some chickpeas with tricolor beans, and on top I put some nutritional yeast and some spicy chili. Should be pretty good. Pretty good indeed. All right, so I'm not sure yet how to feel about tomorrow. Tomorrow is the day that the big rain is gonna come. Last time I checked, they had 1.3 inches of rain, which is a lot for Death Valley, and I've been hearing kind of concerning stuff.
The excessive rainfall outlook, we are highlighting the Los Angeles area and the Death Valley National Park for significant flooding. This will likely be upgraded to a moderate risk before all is said and done. So that's life-threatening flooding that we're expecting. Get ready for it.
I was looking at pictures from some flooding that happened 3 years ago with similar amounts of rain. It doesn't look good. Maybe it was not such a good idea to be here during a rainstorm. Well, this is turning out to be a pretty car-heavy day. I just drove myself to above 5,000 feet again, this time to a more popular location. This place is called Dantes View, and the view is amazing. I can't believe I have never been here before either. The view on the other side is amazing as well. The only downside is that the mountains on the other side of the valley are blocked now by the clouds, but still, it's more dramatic that way, right? Okay, so let me tell you about Death Valley. This is the valley, as you can see. That is Badwater, the lowest point in the lower 48, or in North America, I believe, is 250 feet under the sea level, and that is the road that's closed right now. And then there in the distance we can see Furnace Creek. That's where I'm staying, that's where the campground is, and the gift shop and store and whatnot. And then around those mountains, this is the Panamint Mountains, are the sand dunes where we were yesterday. And it was around there where we were this morning at the charcoal kilns. It is really remarkable how calm it is up here. No wind whatsoever. By the way, that down there might look very different tomorrow depending on the amount of water we get, because it might get filled up. I actually just got another notification on my phone about the weather tomorrow. It's being upgraded to severe weather alert. I don't think there's anything for sure, but there's the potential to bad flooding, so I need to keep that in mind and play it safe tomorrow. And by the way, for those who are counting, Yes, in the last video, at the very end of it, we were at the base of the tallest mountain in the lower 48, and now we are at the lowest point. They are only 80 miles apart, which is amazing. There's a race, an ultra marathon that goes from here all the way to the, well, it doesn't go to the top of the mountain, of course, but it goes pretty high up, I think 10 or 11,000 feet. It's called the Badwater something. And I mentioned this because I saw a notice on the National Park website that tomorrow there are gonna be 200 cyclists on the road here in the park. I don't know if it's because of an event or something, but it sounds like pretty bad timing. Not for people with vertigo, huh? If you like my work, I have a couple of ebooks on my website that you might find interesting. You should also check out my Patreon page where I have behind the scenes. I talk about how I edit and make the images that you see in these videos and images that don't make it into the videos. It's also an amazing way to just support what I do here. Good morning. So I woke up early. I'm on my way to a place that might not be accessible later in the day, and it's Badwater because somehow they opened the road yesterday. That is incredible good. I mean, I'm gonna try to make it there before the big rains come. It's rained a little bit, but I was just photographing those clouds in the background because they are beautiful. I see low hanging clouds there in the direction of Badwater, so I'm gonna keep going really quick. But yeah, those are beautiful. It is pretty eerie here. It's very, very quiet. Alright, I don't know what I was hoping for here, but this is not it. I'm gonna get out of here because I think I have much, much more to lose than to gain, because the tricky thing about flash floods is that even though it might look nice and pretty safe where you are, it might be raining pretty bad just a few miles away, and that flood might be developing or going your way. So even though it looks pretty calm right here, right now, I have no idea if it's raining in other parts of the park, and maybe some water will be coming this way. I know that some water will be coming this way because this is the lowest point in the park. I mean, it's the lowest point in North America, so of course the water will find its way towards here. The cyclists, so they are actually out. There are a lot of cars going in that direction, and it looks much worse than it did when I drove through here like an hour ago. And I don't know, I hope everyone will be okay. The weather forecast doesn't have a lot of rain for this morning. It's more in the late afternoon and evening, so it should be okay. Maybe I'm playing it too safe here, but I feel better now that I'm on the other side of this sign. It's been a tricky morning to take photos here in Death Valley because it looks like there's a lot of atmosphere farther ahead, but once you drive in that direction, well, you get this. The atmosphere is always a few miles down the road. So I've been finding myself shooting a lot with the big lens from far away, which is fine, but it's not what I was hoping for. I was hoping for a more dense atmosphere, so I'd be able to get close to something, to a subject that is close to me, and contrast that against the background. So far, that has not been possible for the most part, but I'll keep trying. And again, most of the rain is yet to come, so that might change. Well, I'm using my raincoat in Death Valley. That's a first for me. I came back to the sand dunes, not because I have a master plan or anything like that, it's because I don't know where else to go. This time though, I came to the main spot. This is where the parking lot is. The other day I went a little bit farther away because the dunes are a little bit more pristine over there, not as many footprints. That is not the case here, but there is more stuff happening on the ground around here, and because we don't have those shadows of the early or late light, I'm just trying to play with those subjects in the foreground and the moody mountains in the background. That's the garbage truck. They reopened the government. Okay, now it really is raining in Death Valley. This is so cool, even though you can't see anything. It's lunchtime. I'm back at Furnace Creek. It's been a lot of driving this morning once again, so I needed to take a break. And also, it happens that it's lunchtime, so you know the drill. It's been a pretty good morning though, so far. I think I got a few images I'm going to like. I still think, or I still hope, I guess, that it's going to get better.
Hey there.
Hello, I have a reservation for site 54.
Number 54.
It's gonna rain tonight, right?
Yep.
But it should be safe to be driving around.
Yeah, they're calling for what's been going on all day, kind of light showers. Yeah,
Right, okay.
Night, overnight. There is a small chance of a thunderstorm, but
Okay,
yeah.
sounds good. All right, thank you.
You got it, bud.
Using an umbrella in Death Valley for the rain, not for the sun, is also a first for me. The guy at the campground seemed pretty confident that everything was going to be fine, and I see a lot of people driving around and going to everywhere, even hiking in the canyons, so I decided to give it a chance myself. I came back to Badwater Road. I'm still at the very beginning of it because I just found these hills with these beautiful low-hanging clouds. I just wish I could find a good foreground because all my photos are looking the same. It's just like photos from far away. there's this huge wash right here. I was trying to find something here, but I don't see anything just yet. It's getting dark, so I've decided to play with the cars, with the headlights in the distance against this dramatic landscape. I'm here waiting on the side of the road for a car coming that way because I want to capture all of that in one side and the road disappearing in the distance with a pair of car. I'm back at the campground. That was cool. It was a different view, a different perspective of Death Valley, different from the work I've done here before, that's for sure. It's not even raining anymore now. I don't know if it's gonna start again later or this is it. Well, I guess that was not the end of it. It's falling pretty hard right now and I just lost service too. Bad news this morning. The first one is that late downpour last night made a real mess here. The road is totally gone from here to there, and this wash is to blame. So we are not going to Badwater. I was afraid of this because when I left the campground it was already pretty messy over there. But even worse than this for photography is that we have a boring regular morning. There is no mood, there is nothing. My secret hope for this trip was that perhaps there was a very small chance I got some fog or a cloud inversion the day after the rain. And to be honest, my hopes were pretty high last night because it was a relatively cool night. It was in the 50s and it was relatively clear too. Those are conditions that favor the fog or a cloud inversion, but I didn't get that lucky. But hey, this is quite a sight here in Death Valley and proof that you have to be really careful because that downpour last night came out of nowhere. It lasted just 5 minutes and look at what it did. If that had happened during the day and I was out there, I'd be stranded right now. But hey, at the very least we get this. I wonder how close I can get to this lake, I guess. Alright, close enough. I was wondering if I could play with the reflections of those mountains on the water. Nah, it doesn't really work for me. I mean, it's cool to look at, but it doesn't make for great photos. So I think as I'm walking out of this wash that this is going to do it from here, from Death Valley. It was quite the adventure. I have never been here in these conditions before. Unfortunately, all that weather didn't make for amazing photos. I'm still happy, I think, with what I got, but I was kind of hoping for more. Maybe it was me, I didn't know how to take advantage of the conditions. Maybe I was playing it too safe. Maybe I should have gone to more places and do more exploring. But anyway, always quite experienced to be here. So I'm gonna head out of the valley and go somewhere else. To be honest, I have no idea where I'm going next. I don't know where I'm gonna be spending the night tonight. All I know is that I need to find a shower as soon as possible. All right, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next one.